everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Ever Legion. For today's video, we're going to talk about some of the top heroes from each faction. Who are your favorites? So overall, when you start the game, you're probably looking for a tier list or some sort of advice on who is good to start with early on. Some of these characters are very strong early on, easy to get dupes of, but they might fall off later game, which is fine. It's realistic, right? But overall, for today's video, I want to go through and I want to talk about a few heroes from each faction here that actually stick out to me and kind of talk about why. And just keep in mind that this is sort of something more subjective. It's kind of my favorites or just characters that I think have good kits that can be versatile or just to help you push through in the early to mid game. Now, I will mention some characters are particularly good in the end game, like our sassy demon lady here, but we're only going to talk about the heroes that you can get from day one when you start a new account on a server. So there's going to be ones that are easier to get just by doing events and you can get duplicates. There's ones that you're gonna get as rewards from some events and stuff. There's higher chances to get some than others, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. But if this game interests you at all and you like the looks of some of these characters and you want to give it a try, make sure you use my link or the QR code up there as well. I do have the link in the description and the pinned comment to download the game, and it can potentially help to benefit my channel. So I'm going to look at things through the gallery so we can see how characters look maxed out, and we also can go into the demo mode and see what the skills look like. So first of all, I do want to say when you start the game and you're in the tavern, you can actually get a few of these anointed heroes. It's less likely, but it's possible. There's Luca here, very cool. We have Theadril as well, and we have that amazing demon Asmodai that I was playing as well. This character here on the screen now, she's probably the one you'd be really excited to get because she is particularly strong as a support character. So I particularly love the demon. You always know I call her my sexy demon lady. But she's a lot of fun. She's got a quirky kit. She's got a little bit of crowd control and can do some damage. But I think when it comes to the anointed heroes, this one might be the best option, especially to start with, that can help really give you an advantage. So let's go ahead in here to the demo. So her ultimate here, we could kind of see, transforms into a 6-winged seraph. Shield, group damage. I like the little descriptions. Actually, this is a good chance for me to show off this demo mode. So when you're on a character, you can hit that demo mode from the gallery and actually see what it looks like to use each skill. You get a quick little description here, like her ultimate. Her next skill rains down a beam of divine light to damage the enemy, which does group damage and leech. The next, when Theadril dies, she becomes dormant for a time, reviving herself. That's a passive, pretty cool. Healing as well. And then we have this passive, she heals her injured allies. And this is healing her injured allies based on the damage that she takes as well. Like she is a great healer, and she does kind of benefit from taking damage. So it's a bit quirky and not exactly a traditional heal. But boom, look at that. Okay, she just sacrificed her HP, put up a shield, but healed your allies. So she is a really interesting character, and she can really bring some strong heals, but she's probably not the only healer you want on a team. But you could see even the second skill here we just used, boom, that gave her a little bit of healing as well. See? Let's do that again. As she's attacking, she's also healing. So she's a bit fun. She can be really annoying in PvP though, as she does bring a bit of revive, that she can revive multiple times and really be annoying. So she's a fun character that you'd be pretty happy to get early on. I think we're just going to talk about her for that regarding, I guess, the anointed heroes though, because there's only a few and it's pretty unlikely you're going to get them or multiple copies of them early on. But it should be noted there's a pretty good event that is a good opportunity to get multiple copies of your favorite anointed heroes. So you can save your diamonds up, and maybe if you're willing to spend also, there's extra resource packs to go along with it, and you can ensure yourself a higher level of ascension by getting those duplicates of your favorite. Now we're going to talk about the Ardent first. I'm going to mention my girl that I got first. I got Maui. Maui is a bit interesting. She is a tank, but also a warrior, and that's exactly why I like her. So she's very cool. She is a strong tank, but also gives you a bit of damage as well. I actually used her as my main source of damage in most of my teams for quite a while, even though she's kind of fulfilling that tank role. But it's really nice to have someone who has a versatile kit that allows you to do so. So let's quickly look through these mini descriptions here. Her ultimate strikes repeatedly at the enemy with the highest attack, stealing an attack boost. And then places a mark on the enemy that reduces their accuracy and their energy. So this is really nice to bring some debuffs to the table as well. She also, let's see, charges at the enemy with the highest attack, grants a shield here, and is control immune. Again, if you want to see the descriptions more, you just click for the longer, full detailed, or the brave descriptions even more so. So I love the versatility here to really get to know a character's kit. All right, and then here knocks down an enemy directly ahead and recovers HP. So Maui also brings us self-healing, even more versatile, even more of a great reason to, she's a great option for a strong first character to focus on building. I wouldn't have expected to pick a tank as my first damage dealer, and no, she's not the top DPS by any means, but she really can bring a lot to the table, and I think she's fun. I think it's nice to have that versatility of someone who can be on the front line but also deal some damage. With that in mind though, you do want to keep a decent Ardent team core with someone like Maui to give her those extra attack bonuses or defense bonuses. She's definitely a strong tank, and you can certainly use other stronger damage dealers like Keela or this guy here we're going to talk about next. Ahmad here is really cool. I love his kit. Now he is one that I did not have, well I had, but later, that I haven't played yet. But we're going to talk about why I find him so interesting. So he is actually a good crowd controller, and he deals some good damage. So this here shifts dealing continuous damage. Look at that. It's just going. Look at that. That was pretty cool, right? It just kept going. Let's check out the skill here. Applies buffs to avoid critical hit. So he has this critical hit buff for where he gets immune to critical hits and gains their critical rate. Oh, he can help an ally as well. So he's got a lot going on. I really like him. Auto release damage and control. So here's where he's really creative. Is this beetle? Yeah, beetle bomb. He actually does this bomb damage in the form of what they call a beetle bomb, and it actually can stun as well. So that just brings even more versatility. Boom, look at that knockback too. This one, damage shifts enemies around using knockback. So wait, moves across to the enemy closest to the allied side of the battlefield, and then he knocks them back. So that's just really cool. I love that. Let's do that again. Boom, he just pushes everybody back. I really like his kit. He actually can do very good damage, and he provides some crowd control. I just think he's got a very versatile kit. Although I have heard people say that he is a bit squishy early on. Later game, if you can get multiple copies of him, get him in good gear, and get his his kit leveled up overall, he's going to be very strong, but he can be a bit squishy, so make sure you have some good protection in your team if you are deciding to use him. Now, there are plenty other of fun Ardent characters to talk about. I literally could talk about, I think, every single one. It's a very good faction, and that is one thing I want to note for this game and for this video. I'm not saying only who I think is good. We're just talking about a couple people from each faction that I think kind of stick out to me, and there are plenty of options to use. The good thing about this game is there's not a lot of, I guess you could say, terrible champions that are of the mythical tier. Most of them are pretty well usable, at least before you get into the very late game. So you're really not going to be in too bad of a situation no matter who you pull. You can find utility with all of these characters as long as you work on your team synergy. So I do want to talk about one we get very easily. Niviana here is probably a bit underrated and quite good. She is one that we get for free with one of the logins, so you know you're going to get a duplicate of her. So you could actually choose her as your bonus for the Ascension event that they have, and you already know you're getting at least one extra copy, and plus the Ascension rate up will allow you to get more. So let's go ahead into the demo mode here. So she has a great kit too. She can do a little bit of damage. She's not like top tier for DPS, but she can bring a little bit. She also gives an increased attack to your team. So she blesses the friendly hero with the highest attack, which can also be herself. And that's really helpful. She can pair with other damage dealers and just help make them better. As you can see, critical hit boost, attack boost with this skill here. Very nice. Then we also have hurls a damaging magical blast at the enemy hero with an accuracy reduction. Help to prevent them from landing their crowd control and debuffs. Always a good thing. And then her passive here is a boost of crit rate. So crit hits inflict a weakening effect, boosting the effectiveness of any damage inflicted on her targets by 3%. So she's got a whole bunch. She's got damage reduction for the enemy. She's got a heal reduction, or accuracy reduction, excuse me. And she also can bring a little bit of damage herself. She's just going to be someone really great to have on your team to boost the attack of your main damage dealer if it's not her. So I think she has a lot of value, and it is important to consider who do we easily get some dupes of early on to allow you to actually ascend them, because in this game ascension is very important and you want to make sure you can improve them the best as possible, or else their base stats are going to be low if you can't get them up to that mythical level. For example, it's going to have a little, and you can only level up so far too. You could only level up to certain levels based on their ascension level. So if you don't get dupes and your core 5 are all lower, that's going to be hard to boost the whole roster with the Wellspring as well. Next here, we're going to talk about Alexandria. She is a great support unit, probably one of the best supports in the game. She brings really good energy regeneration, and she heals as well. Let's take a look at her in demo form. I like her. She also brings a crowd control in the form of a stun. But yeah, here, releases a mist that restores allies' energy and stuns the enemy. That's her ultimate. Let's take a look at that. There's that mist. It's pretty cool. I love it. It's like she's dancing around, creating it. Throws firecrackers at the nearest enemy hero as well. And then also she has, let's see, attaches a few potions to the machine before each battle begins. So this is where her extra healing comes in as well. At the beginning of the battle, she places 3 health potions into her machine. When the HP of nearby allies drops below 50%, they'll be given one of the potions. So it's just a cool extra healing effect that can come into play later in the battle. It doesn't have to be only at the start of the battle or when she uses a skill. So that's a really fun passive, I think. It's interesting. And then here, gives up some energy to lessen the damage when injured. Let's actually show this one. This is quirky. Shields up Her passive. When Alexandria receives damage that exceeds 10% of her max HP, she will sacrifice her energy to offset the damage, causing her to lose energy rather than HP. This skill can be used once every 3 seconds. Up to 80 energy points can be used to offset damage. So she protects herself, but she's still going to help regenerate energy in the team in general, so you don't really have to worry about that too much. She's kind of got that built into her kit to boost everyone's energy, so even though she's kind of taking away her own, she's kind of going to bring back her own energy as well. Very strong support. So many people are looking to get her early on as well. All right, let's go on to our Eternal Sect. Here we have Arwan. Arwan is a really cool tank. There's another tank that's very strong as well. You can't go wrong with either of the Eternal tanks, but you know what? I really like Arwan. He's just got an interesting kit, and it might be a little quirky early game or a little bit niche, but he's definitely going to be someone worth building up that can be used later game as well. So he has a passive that allows him to revive once during a battle, and when he revives, he actually stuns the enemies as well, so that can certainly come into play and be very handy. Let's see here. Let's use his ultimate, which includes leech and control immunity. When he's doing his ultimate, he is immune to control effects, so that's very helpful for especially a tank who's likely going to be on your front line. That's what that ability looks like. I like it. He's got cool skills for sure. All right, and then his second skill here, Boulder Breaker, knocks down the enemy with a mighty blow. So let's watch that. Boom, knocked down. So a knockdown, a knockback, that's just another form of crowd control that's temporarily gonna disable the enemy to prevent them from attacking your team. Any form of crowd control is gonna be very helpful, especially with a tank who's gonna be on your front line, right? He also can be a bit of a cheese unit that relies on RNG because of the ability to revive himself. It's fun. He's got a cool kit. I like it. Places a curse upon the enemy with the lowest health at the beginning of the battle as well. So that's another one that I really like here too. Strong tank can have some good synergy with some of the other characters in the Eternal Sect. So speaking of which, Malekith is really good to pair with Arwan. Very good. And he looks pretty darn cool, right guys? I think he looks really cool. Very cool. I love the weapons. The weapons look amazing, honestly. Look at the weapons. I love the weapon. All right, let's go ahead and show him in the demo. So he's really interesting. After he dies, his spirit stays on the battlefield and fights as him. And he also can use the same skills and has like a boosted attack speed. So that's surely quirky, right? Let's go ahead and show his ultimate skill. I love the animations for him. He's definitely got one of the coolest set of animations, I think. He warps in front of the attacker and retaliates when struck. So he's got this, like a lot of the assassins, they kind of jump to a certain spot on the battlefield. It might be to the character with the highest attack or to the whatever back line. But that's a pretty cool feature. I really like that. Let's see here. And can we see this is it. He returns with, as you can see, look at that glow. It's so cool. He returns as a spirit. So it's pretty much just like having another character in your team. When he dies, you're just like, boom, pop up, come back, fight some more. So he can really help to prolong a battle or be sneaky annoying in PvP situations too. And on to our Vitalis heroes here. We have the Londir. They have a very good kit as well. Simple, one of the top for this faction for sure. They're a ranger with burst damage. Let's go into the demo mode. Take a look at them. So their ultimate here, massive damage toward a single target. So a single burst damage. Let's see how that looks. Boom, look at that arrow. Oof. Oh, so cool. I love it. So cool. Very nice. I forgot that that's what that animation looked like. Very good animations. Boom, attacks a single target, providing control effects as well. Again, another chance to stun. I am a huge fan of crowd control in these games. It really just helps to keep the odds in your favor for sure. Having abilities to knock back the enemies, knock down, stun, charm, whatever it may be, very valuable. He's also immune to CC when he's using the one skill, and when it comes to the big attack, he actually targets the enemy with the highest attack too to stun them, so he can help to take out one of the units that is probably going to be your biggest threat, right? Let's use that ultimate again. Boom. So cool. I love it. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Deerwin for today's video. He's one I've seen talked about a lot. He's also one that might fall off a little bit later game, but he's quite interesting. So I find his kit to be very useful in forms of crowd control, but it also kind of contradicts itself, so just be aware. Like, he has the ability to knock back the enemies, but also, as you see, there's the whirlwind to just push someone back. But he also pulls people in. So it's a little bit of, I want to say, a contradictory kit, right? There we go. See, he just pulled someone in. So depending on the timing of using things, you really got to be careful. It could contradict itself depending on the units you're using with him. Like if you want to pull someone in to have someone doing like a whirlwind damage, physical damage, be it attack multiple units at the same time, you might want to make sure you're not using that ultimate to push them back and counteract what's happening. But yeah, it's really interesting with this cyclone. See, it's just the cyclone's actually pushing them around. So it pushed the one in the back, and it pushed this one forward. But super quirky, really interesting, and I still like that it brings a lot of utility. It brings crowd control, it brings damage, it brings a little bit of everything. You just are going to have to test it and see what synergizes well with your team. But everyone really seems to love Deerwin, and I think he'd be really fun to play with and try to test different team comps to find that synergy. But that's what this is all about too, and I love this feature. Again, this demo feature, if you're like, wait, what does that do? You can just hit it. Like, we're seeing it live, what's happening. Look at the cyclone pushes through and just moves people around. Look at that. Look at that cyclone just push that guy way over. It's really cool to see it in action, depending on what's happening, just to actually test it. And yeah, I haven't used him either. He's another one that I haven't used that I just recently got that I was waiting to get more copies of. I kind of been trying not to use people I only have like 1 copies of because they don't quite hold up in most cases, but I love the cyclone just pushing people around. Just another fun form of crowd control that could give you the advantage in battle. But that's all for today, talking about some of my favorite heroes, and both ones I have and do not have that just have interesting kits. And really, at the end of the day, it's all about team synergy. Don't forget, you can really benefit by having a lot of the same characters from the same faction, in your team. And you can take advantage of the factional bonuses. The anointed heroes are also super fun to get, like mentioned, if you can get them early on. We love them. They're fun. We have Deva and Yuda, and definitely want to try to use them in your roster if you can. I just think they add a different element, and they can also give you special bonuses to your team. The Yuda ones act as if they are the same faction as the faction you have the most of, and the Deva acts as an extra bonus overall. So lots of fun to be had, lots of amazing characters in this game, and let me know in the comments below, who are your favorites? We literally could have talked about everyone. I swear there's so many good characters to use, and it's not necessarily like you have to use one specific character to excel, or you have to re-roll until you get one specific character. Luckily, it's not like that in this game, which I think is really great, honestly. So hope this video was helpful. If you haven't checked out this game already, make sure you use my link in the description or the pinned comment or the QR code up there as well. It can potentially benefit the channel, but that's all for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.